Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Proline. This is the NFL version for this week. We'll have a college edition up as well. You can still check out the recap edition with Jim. That's on the Fairway J on with him. That's online. So lots of good stuff. But we'll be focusing on the NFL in this one. Chip Chirimbes is here. Jim Feist is here. Big Al McMordie is here. And I'm Dave Cokin. We are glad to have you with us. Later on, we'll get to Jeff Saad, our man on the street. And we'll also get to our Twitter question of the week. A reminder, you can always follow us on Twitter at Jim Feist Sports or on Facebook at Proline TV. Before we get into the games, let's let everybody know what's happening. And Chip, we're going to start with you. College football game of the year was last Saturday, and you took a 1-4 team against a 4-1 team. You're only getting a couple points in the game, basically, and you won by about 1,000. I mean, what are you doing? You're taking a 1-4 team against a 4-1 team. What's the matter with you?
Dave, that doesn't matter. All we're looking for is a winner, right? I mean, Cal comes out and they crushed UCLA, and everyone all week kept telling me, watch out, watch out. And it's just a game, I told you, that came at me right away, and I thought they were a big winner. And I have another one on Saturday. Once again, by the way, we followed that up with Kansas City as an AFC game in a month on Sunday, so the big games are rolling. 4 in a row now. And Saturday, I have another huge Big 12 conference game of the year. The entire package for $19 from Thursday on, NFL through Monday. Give me a call, 866-841-1665. The big game player is really rolling with the big game winners right now. Give me a call, 866-841-1665.
Big Al, we talked last week about the Fortune 500s, and you delivered again. San Diego State on Saturday, and then you went against the team from San Diego on Sunday night. You took the Saints to get on the board and for their first win, 2-0.
2-0, Dave. You know, they continue to roll. In fact, they're 9-1 their last 10. The only loser was a totals play, so we cashed 9 straight side selections on the Fortune 500 Club releases. These plays go for $500 online, and we've got a very special offer once again for all callers today. You can get my Vegas Strip Move Game of the Year for Saturday, plus an NFL Fortune 500 Club release. And again, that play goes for $500 online. And if you sign up early, you get a TV winner going tonight. 3 plays in all, just for $25. 866-841-1665. That's 866-841-1665. 3 huge plays, including that NFL Fortune 500 Club release, which goes Sunday.
Nice job, Al. I had 2 featured games last weekend. One was my college total of the year, and the other was my NFL game of the week. College total of the year actually should have been a lot easier than it was. There were 9 turnovers in the game, 2 missed extra points, basically, I won't say chip shot, but an easy enough field goal. All that stuff got missed. And UCLA and Cal, same game as Chip, interestingly enough. Excuse me, I had the total in that game over. It finally got there. It just should have been easier than it was. But the bottom line is it won. And then on Sunday, NFL Game of the Week, well, that was about as easy as it gets. Close for a while, and then the Bears simply annihilated the Jacksonville Jaguars, scoring when they had the ball, scoring when they didn't have the ball. A real laugher in the second half. So very happy with that. This weekend, there's 2 games I really like on Saturday. They're both going to be window plays. My big players, and one of them is in my college game of the month. Both these games, this is a $1,000 value online. $25 if you call 1-866-896-1629. I'm going to add a bonus TV winner that goes tonight. Everything for $25. College game of the month, that other big play on Saturday, and tonight's bonus play, all for $25. 1-866-896-1629. And we moved to world champion handicapper Jim Feist. And Jim, Sundays have been really good for you. Another strong performance in the NFL. Broncos, Patriots, total. Chargers, Saints, total. No sweat there at all. What do you got this weekend?
Well, last Sunday, Dave, thank you. It was 5-2. If you add to that, Thursday I was 2-0, had the side and total, and then Monday had the side and total as well. That's 9-2 running the pros. I have a monster Saturday coming up. A monster play. It's called the College Odds Maker Error Game of the Year. $250 online. You can get it for $25 along with a guarantee. You'll win the play or the rest of the college football regular season is free. Plus, on Sunday, I have an NFL winner inner circle parlay. That's $5. The inner circle parlay. 2 games, $5 guaranteed or 7 days free. All you have to do is call 1-866-841-1655. That's 1-866-841-1655.
All right, guys, let's get to 2 of the best games of the schedule. On today's show, we're going to cover the Packers-Texans game, which is huge, and then the marquee matchup on the schedule, rematch of last year's NFC title game, 49ers hosting the Giants. Let's start with the Packers and Texans. Al, let's open it up with you. You got Green Bay. They're having an interesting season. That was not real good last week. The Texans managed to slip through on Monday, but they really weren't very good in that game either, so something's going to give here.
Yeah, I like Green Bay in this ball game, Dave. Admittedly, they're kind of the walking wounded right now at running back. Cedric Benson's out. They're going to have to go to, Alex Green as their main back. But they really don't utilize the backs like other teams do, so that doesn't really worry me. And Green Bay falls into a terrific system I have that's 257 and 187 against the spread going all the way back to 1980. And what I like to do is take 500 or worse unrested road dogs of 8 points or less off a road loss. Teams play back-to-back games on the road. They lose the first one, and then if they're a road dog of 8 or less the next one, they tend to do very well. 257 and 187 going back to 1980. Also, Green Bay's 28 and 15 against the spread as a road dog, and that includes 15 and 5 off a straight-up loss. I'm going to take Green Bay plus the 3.5.
Chip, let's swing over to you and get a look at this Packers-Texans matchup. Anything stick out to you?
Well, the Texans lose Cushing for the year. That's a big loss for them. Now, when you look at their schedule so far, it's been quite interesting to me who they've played. They played Miami. They beat them 30-10. At that point, Miami, we didn't think Miami was going to be very good this year, but they actually turned out to be better. They played Jacksonville. They hammered them 27-7. They played at Denver. They crushed them. It was actually a bigger score than the final. Then they played Tennessee, another extremely bad team. They whipped them pretty good. And they played the Jets on Monday night. We all saw that. And they weren't that impressive. Now, when you look at this Texans team, they control the ball very well on the ground. I mean, they're 20th in passing, 6th in rushing. Schaub is 8-2 as far as touchdowns to interceptions. 63% completions. Arian Foster, Ben Tate, running back. Tate didn't play the other night, but he's also very good. Owen Daniel, tight end. This team is loaded. A lot of people feel this is the best team in football. I'm not too sure about that. I think they're right up there, top 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 you could squeeze in, but they're in there. And they should be there at the end of the year in the playoffs and in the running for the Super Bowl. The Packers, they're living a little bit on reputation. They haven't been very much this year. They ended up last year with a very poor defense. And this year the offense is trying to carry them, and it's just not happening. Now, but when you look at their games, the 2 losses they had on the road at Seattle, we all know that was some pretty bad officiating that cost them that game. Now, granted, all these teams had to play with the bad official situation, but it didn't work out for them. And then last week, they ran into a buzzsaw with the Colts, and the coach being in the hospital with, cancer and fighting that. So it was an emotional game, but they had a huge lead in the first half. I mean, look, it was, boys against men in that game in the first half, and then they cut it back. They stopped trying to, I think they really stopped trying to score. They lost their oomph, if you will. And I think they let the door wide open, the back door wide open for the Colts. And not only did the Colts cover, they actually ended up winning the game. So desperation here for the Packers. And they do have a lot of very good talent on that team. You got Rodgers, you got Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb. Yes, they're missing some people. on their offense. But this is a very good football team, and I agree with Al that and from a different angle, from a desperation standpoint, Green Bay Packers are coming in here with a lot of motivation. Houston's coming off the Monday night game, a big TV game for them. They haven't been on television that much except for the playoffs last year. They don't get that much attention. Cross-country trip back home. This is a big game for Green Bay. Tough game.
I think that if you like the Packers, the number's already gone, basically. There's been a lot of play in Green Bay throughout the week. Couple of comments. The Packers aren't as good as they were last year. I'm pretty sure of that. The defense has improved. The offense isn't as good. Maybe it'll get better with Starks returning to carry the ball. I think they've got to try and establish that a little more, keep their defense off the field. But of more concern to me was Houston's performance on Monday night. It's only one game, so it could be a bit of an aberration. But I didn't like what I saw out of the Texans on Monday, and that was from the coach. This was a really bad Jets team that they played. The Jets are just completely short-handed at this point. They have no weapons on offense. And yet there they were with the ball with 2 minutes to go in the game and a chance to win. And naturally a receiver couldn't hold on to what was not that bad a pass. Got picked off, and that was the end of the football game. But what I didn't like in that football game was Kubiak's approach. Bill Belichick, Jim Harbaugh, name a couple of other coaches. If they got the Jets in that situation, down immediately in the game, some other opportunities to send a message and just end the game, they do it. Kubiak didn't. He was ultra conservative, and I think that's going to come back. He's got to shed that tendency. It's going to come back to haunt him in the playoffs when they meet other good football teams. They got away with it against the Jets. You're running. I mean, the last Houston possession, not the one where they just ran out the clock, but the one prior to that, 2nd and 2, about the Jets 40. This is a team that runs play. Schaub has thrown more play-action passes than anybody in the league the last few years. And they run Foster into the line against a stacked defensive front twice and end up having to kick the ball. You got to go for it in a spot like that. I'm talking run the play-action, throw the football down the field, and end the game. You do not want to be in a one-possession game. You want to get into 2 possessions. So that's a tendency that I don't like. We'll have to wait and see how it manifests itself. I do think this, though. I think Houston is a better team than Green Bay. And at this point, I don't think I'll get involved in the side. I don't like playing against teams that are coming off the game where they blew a 21-3 halftime lead and kind of mailed it in and sent a message with a loss. And the action has been in Green Bay. I do respect some of the sharp money on the Packers. So I'm probably going to stay out of this game, but I got to tell you, it wouldn't surprise me if Houston does rebound and gets through with a victory here. Chip?
I happen to feel like Al and Jim is when I think Green Bay is in a spot where at 2-3 they have to come to play here. They're 28-1 against the points in their last 29 road games, and that includes 4 straight losses in their last 4 road games. So I'm looking for them to come back to form a little bit. They've lost 4 straight against the points on the road, but beware. By the way, Dave, I love what I saw of that Houston team on Monday night. I think they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They didn't care to show anything against the Jets. They knew the Jets were undermanned and they could handle this club. They were in command and control almost the whole time out there, and I think they walked through it. They did a great job. Thank you very much. I was a New York Jet backer on Monday night. But the Texans, 14-2-2 in their last 16 against the points. That's hard to buck. This is a tough game to call, but I think Green Bay and dire straits right now has to come up big and at least stay within the number.
Before we get to our question of the week, let's check in with Jeff Saad. He's our man on the street. Jeff, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Dave. I have a free total coming up, but first you can get a pair of College Conference Game of the Month winners going Saturday, as well as an NFL Blowout Game of the Year on Sunday. All 3 plays just $19, plus the Blowout Game of the Year comes with a guarantee. You win or you get 1 free week from LBSS in college football and the NFL. Just call 1-866-575-8916. That's 1-866-575-8916. Your free total is the Giants at 49ers, a rematch of the thrilling NFC Championship game in January, a 2017 overtime win by New York. The Giants averaged just 3.3 yards per rush, while the 49ers got 328 total yards and turned it over twice. This season, both teams again have dominant defensive fronts, particularly against the run, ranked in the top 10. While the 49ers upgraded the wide receivers, they are still a run-first conservative offense. The Giants are 36-15 against the spread in the last 51 road games, but the way to look at this one is a low-scoring battle of powerhouse defenses, just like in January. Play the Giants and 49ers to stay under the total. Once again, get a pair of college conference game of the month winners going Saturday, as well as the NFL blowout game of the year Sunday, guaranteed, and all three plays just $19. Just call 1-866-575-8916. Back to you, Dave.
Okay, thanks, Jeff, and good luck as always this weekend. Twitter question of the week. Twitter at Jim Feist Sports. That's where you follow us there. And or Facebook at Proline TV. And if we use your question of the show, you get put in a drawing to win $100 worth of plays from any of the handicappers on the show. Maurice Smith, Jacksonville, Florida. How do handicappers approach NFL trends? If a team is great on Monday night or against a specific opponent, doesn't really mean anything. I'll just throw my own in here because we've all got different styles. I am not a history buff. I look at things, I match the teams up and then do current math on the game, basically. I'm looking for efficiency stats, try and match them up and find value. So for me, what happened last year generally doesn't matter. What's happened in previous years generally doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that my way is the only way to get it done. Al, you can speak more on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of trends either. You know, I prefer systems that are league-wide, like we were talking about earlier about, road dogs of, 8 points or less, off a road loss. I don't really get into systems as far as how the Packers did against, New Orleans the last 18 years. I really could not care less about that kind of stuff. But sometimes it matters. I mean, I know, for example, looking at the NBA, you've got the Spurs and the Thunder. And for years, the Spurs just beat up on Oklahoma City going into that playoff matchup last year. They were 8-1, against the spread versus Oklahoma City. They won the first two games of that playoff series to go to 10-1, and then they lost 4 straight. So, what did it get you? But I'm not a big fan of team trends. I do prefer systems that apply to the entire league as a universe. Jim?
I don't think any of us are what you call trend guys.
Tell you the truth, I like to follow it in college more than the pros because it just seems like the beat goes on in some of these conferences. Teams always seem to have a bye week before a big game, and they're always ready while the other side's coming up. I mean, I think Penn State beat Maryland 35 consecutive years. There was a point there, and I think they covered like 33 of them. So sometimes, particularly in college, you can get an edge. I know there was something with Clemson in South Carolina. They went years without reversing the trend. So I pay more attention to it in college than I do in the pros.
All right, let's go to the West Coast. Giants and 49ers. Well, the last time these teams met, Williams had a bad time on special teams for the 49ers. Otherwise, we might have had a different Super Bowl champion last year. This should be a good game. The Giants, they're tough. They really are. They're just a tough football team, mentally tough. The 49ers, Jim, I think you saw this. I was tweeting on Sunday. I did some good stuff on Sunday again, but a mistake I made was I broke down the Bills-49ers game, and I decided that, the 49ers are coming off these 2 road games. The second one was a perfect game against the Jets. They're going back out across the country, long trip, haven't been home for 10 days, so there's a little adjustment there. They've got a soft team coming in that just got humiliated, giving up 45 points and a half. And they've got the Giants on deck in their biggest game of the year. Geez, I'm going to take 10 points with the Buffalo Bills. How'd that work out? I think I was in it until the coin flip. This 49ers team is really good. And boy, there is just no, there doesn't seem to be any week where they don't have their intensity. And I mentioned, I know you saw this, Jim, because you said the same thing. I mentioned that I think I can find better ways to invest my money than trying to beat the 49ers right now. And that holds true this weekend. This team's really good. Really good. And it is a payback situation. You're going to have to pay for it in the number because the odds makers know the situation as well. It's not like they just woke up and say, oh, really? The 49ers are not a bargain this week. But they might get there anyway, Jim. They're a great-looking football team right now. They're the best team in the league at this point.
if you go back to how we started this, Buffalo, San Francisco last week, the difference between those two teams starts at the coaching level. The difference between Harbaugh and Gailey is like the Ethiopian football team against, the Green Bay Packers. It's a complete joke. Buffalo has a world of talent. They're not putting it together. They overpaid the quarterback because he had a couple of good hours of football. They gave him $56 million.
He's this decade's Scott Mitchell.
We have a lot of this overpaying of average people because they had a day in the sun. But that's neither here nor there. As far as this game here, I mean, you got a championship team here in New York Giants. They've won 2 Super Bowls. Now, granted, if the mistakes weren't made in last year's game, San Francisco would have been in the Super Bowl. I do believe that for the most part they outplayed the Giants in that game. They're very physical. Teams that play the 49ers, the next week they have more walking wounded than anybody else. Because this team hits you, and they hit you hard, and they keep hitting you. They don't mess around, and Harbaugh is extremely intense. But on the other side, Coughlin's pretty intense himself, and he has a lot of he plays a very physical football game, too. The game opened at 1 offshore at 6. I immediately grabbed the 6 for the max. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to be on the Giants at the end of this run here, because I knew that at some point in time there'd be a lot of money for the Giants, and there might be actually a side or a middle to play. But 6 is too much. 3 might be the right number, because bottom line, on a neutral field, I think these teams are even. They have different strengths and weaknesses. They're not the same. There's no Eli Manning on the 49ers. But also the Giants don't quite have the defense that the Niners seem to have. But you got to remember something here also. Public perception is, what did the San Francisco 49ers do the last couple of weeks? Who'd they beat? They beat nobody. We got some bad teams in this league. Crap. Real crap. C-R-A-P. And they shut out the Jets. They shut out the Jets, and they annihilated the Bills. AFC East teams that are absolutely incredibly bad. And they might be getting too much benefit from that in the line. So I think the odds makers have adjusted for that, and then you add on top of it the revenge from losing the championship game last year, and hence somebody opened at 6. Obviously, I disagreed with that.
It is tough, though, Al, for the typical bettor is going to look at 79-3 over the last 2 weeks, which is what the 49ers have won by. And then they're just going to say, well, I got to bet the hottest team in the league, or they're just going to be scared to bet against them. It's tough to fade a team going, but at the same time, you might be getting some value by doing it.
Yeah, I don't think it's tough to fade San Francisco at all, and you guys hit the nail on the head. I mean, you take a look at those 2 defensive performances, 0 and 3. That's the key for me. When you go back to 1980, NFL teams that have given up less than 10 points in back-to-back weeks, 99 wins, 150 losses against the spread, provided our play against team isn't getting 4 or more points. But that's not the worst part. If our play against team also won the previous game by more than 17 points, then our 99 and 150 statistic collapses to 8 and 26 against the spread. You guys mentioned this revenge factor. I remember the same situation a couple weeks ago with Baltimore and New England, and people were jumping on Baltimore thinking they were going to avenge their championship game loss last season. I took New England plus the 3. There's just too much value there, and it's kind of the same thing here. I think there's a lot of value with the New York Giants at this number, and I'm going to take the points.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things about sports betting is that bettors and I, for lack of a better word, I'll call them amateur bettors, have a tendency to look at a situation and think they know something. Oh, well, I know this team's in revenge, so B follows A, that type of thing. What they, and I don't, I guess I've been doing it for too long because I get a little bit, I just look at that and I go, what do you think, the odds makers don't know that? That's not an advantage. It's only an advantage if it's not in the line. It's in the line here. But it certainly was in the opening number, that's for sure, Chip.
Well, this is a matchup. I think you got the NFL's MVP coming in as a visitor here. I'm looking for Eli Manning to actually have the kind of year he's having and people recognizing who he is. Wait a minute. Hold it, Jim. This just in, the Packers are 47.5 over Ethiopia. And the over-under 6.
I'll take the Packers.
Just got it right here. Offshore gave me a call. No, but I think this Giants
is that a road game or a home game?
Ethiopia's at home, actually. Yeah, 47.5. Road favorite. I don't know where he got the line, but pretty appropriate, I'll tell you that. Now, I've seen the defense prepare, even though we have...
You got to look out for the backdoor cover, though.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know how Ethiopia's going to score unless they actually use a football. Why is it called a ball when it has 2 points on it? I don't know. Balls are around. I'm going to play this game between the Giants and the Niners under, and we'll let it go at that.
All right. We got best bets. This can be any game on the schedule that we like, or one of the ones we talked about. Well, I may as well start here. I'm going to go. I guess I'm going to go with the first game we talked about, Packers and Texans. And I really didn't get a chance to talk about the total. I will here. I think the Cushing injury is going to be significant for Houston. I also think Houston's offense was just too tame on Monday. They can score on this Green Bay team. It's a bad defensive football team. Packers are going to get their points as well. And I think they'll find a way for this game to get over the total. That'll be my best bet out of the ones we talked about. Look, last weekend, these plays that I've been advertising on Proline, they've been awesome this year. Absolutely tremendous. And last weekend, more of the same. College total of the year winner, the UCLA-Cal game over, and the Bears game of the week. They just crushed Jacksonville on Sunday. Going to do that again, but with 2 big plays on Saturday in the colleges, and one of them is my game of the month. You're going to get both the big plays, and there's a bonus play tonight that's going to be included. The cost for everything, $25. Join in right now. I might also throw in a total on that Ethiopia Packers game. 1-866-896-1634. 1-866-896-1634. Looking forward to another big weekend. Al, the Fortune 500 surge continues. Well, surge is probably not the right word because that indicates temporary. This has been going on for a whole long time.
Yeah, it has, Dave, and this year especially, the Fortune 500s continue to roll with San Diego State Saturday, the New Orleans Saints Sunday. Had a record number of calls for that Saints play on Sunday, so I appreciate all the business online. That's $500 online, but we've got this very special offer where if you make the phone call right here, you're not going to pay $500. You're going to get that NFL Fortune 500 Club release for Sunday, plus our Vegas Strip Move game of the year on Saturday, and if you call early and sign up tonight, you get the TV winner. That's 3 plays in all, just for $25. 866-841-1665. That's 866-841-1665. Call now.
Jim, you got a game of the year going on Saturday. It's going to cost plenty of money online, but there is a way for people to get it for 90% off that cost.
You're darn right, Dave. And then along with that, $25 you get the odds maker error of the game of the year, and also a guarantee that if the game doesn't win, the rest of the regular college season is free. And plus on Sunday, I've got an inner circle parlay. I've been red hot in the pros last week alone, 9-2. That includes totals. And that parlay is guaranteed or 7 days free service. Make the call, 1-866-841-1655. You know, we're supposed to give out a best bet. Usually we stick with the games we talked about, but I'm not going to do that this week. I'm going to actually give you a total. Kansas City Chiefs have been a mess this year, outstatting every team they've played, but also turning the ball over like 250 times. And it's absolutely ridiculous. They lost their quarterback, and they're going to go with their backup. God only knows what he's going to deliver. One thing I don't think either one of these teams, Tampa Bay or Kansas City, is going to deliver is very many points. I'm looking for that game to go under the total. That's my best bet for the show.
And Chip, well, you know, Chip's always had the reputation for being a big game player and winner. And now we know why. He has information that nobody else has access to. Clearly, I'm looking on my other screen here. I got odds from every place. Okay, I mean, I got nothing on this Ethiopia Packers game. I can't find it anyway. Chip had the number. There you go. Seriously, just a great win last week in the college game of the year with UCLA getting annihilated up in Berkeley by California. Great call in that game. When you got an underdog, the game of the year, and they win the game by 26 points, that's a handicapper you might want to give him a call because he's hot. What do you got this weekend, Chip?
Thanks, Dave. We're coming off our fourth straight game of the year, or game of the month winner, because we also had Kansas City, who got in under the number against the Ravens on Sunday. But a very special day this entire weekend on Saturday, my Big 12 Conference game of the year. And again, this is guaranteed, or you get the rest of the month free. And on Sunday, my NFL totals of the year. Now, you're going to get Thursday through Monday for $19, and this big game of the year guarantee at 866-841-1665. I said before, Dave, to these guys, these are games I can single out. These are games you can step out on. These are games you can play with confidence. I have a huge winner Saturday, another huge total winner Sunday, and Thursday night, don't miss that big game either between the Steelers and the Titans. So give me a call. It's all $19, and it's guaranteed against a month of free service. Give me a call at 866-841-1665. My free play on the show isn't going to have anything to do with Ethiopia, but I will have Green Bay. And Green Bay will be getting the points against Houston. That's my best bet for the show.
All right. Great stuff, guys. Don't forget to check out the college version of this week's Proline as well. We'll get to a couple of big games on the slate as far as the colleges are concerned. Meanwhile, for Jim Feist, Chip Chirimbes, Big Al, for John Cranton from Jim Feist Sports, who's been cracking up over my shoulder for about the last 15 minutes since the Ethiopia line. I'm Dave Cokin. Thanks a lot for Jeff Sad as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Go get him this weekend, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys.